Assalamu alaikum viewers. Very warm welcome in program Diplomatic Enclave from Channel 5, and I am your host Malik Manzur. As you know that we met different ambassadors of different countries and we discussed bilateral relation, political, economic, trade and culture and many other issues. So today is a great pleasure for me that I am joined by the head of mission, Excellency Joao Paulo Sabido Costa of Portugal. He is a head of mission here in Portugal and a very seasoned diplomat. He served in Germany, China, Brazil, Canada and some other country as well, and Romania. So he is a very senior diplomat here and he is trying to boost the relation between the two countries. Excellency, very warm welcome in my program.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like also to thank you for the opportunity of being here and also to thank Mr. Malik Manzur, my friend, and also Channel 5 and Diplomatic Enclave for this opportunity to speak a bit about.
Excellency, let me share with my viewers that Portugal and Pakistan have very cordial relation from last many years, and both countries have the same opinions on international and national regional matters. So my first question that how long you are here as a head of mission in Islamabad, and how do you feel being here while you are interactive with the people of Pakistan and politician, business community and other segment of society, that what are you feeling here?
So I arrived more or less 1 year ago when I was coming from Canada, from Ottawa, and I think Pakistan is very warm and hospitable society, so it's very easy to go along with to get in touch, to get to know the Pakistani people, also the politicians, all officially, so also the businessmen, business community, the cultural, also the parts of the society and the cultural, more persons related to cultural institutions. So it was very easy, I think. So 1 year I could achieve a lot of things and to meet a lot of people.
And Excellency, can you briefly tell us the diplomatic and political relation between the two countries? And do you satisfy with ongoing relation between two countries on diplomatic and political front?
Yes, in the way, well, we have a long relation. After 47, I think, when we were one of the first European countries to recognize Pakistan as a country. And also we almost immediately open an embassy in Karachi. So we have, and our relation has been always very good, no frictions there, nothing. So it went very smoothly. But I'm not satisfied also because we could do more. Because we have been, at least from our side, a bit sleepy relating Pakistan, that we should do more. There's many things we should use the good ties between our societies, the easy personal ties we can establish, friendship ties, and use this in order to promote economy, culture, academic interchange, so everything.
So do you satisfy with the trade volume between the two countries? As we know that trade diplomacy is a milestone in foreign policy of any country during this time. So do you think that there is a potential to enhance the trade volume between the two countries?
Yes, I see a potential, and I think we are increasing, at least since the beginning of this year. And of course, I think we could have much more. No, don't have much more, although there's maybe it's the average in the European Union. Okay, all the countries of the European Union could do more. But of course, there is, because Pakistan, from our side, Pakistan is a large market. Yes. It's a growing market because there's a growing middle class, and we have around, more than, we calculate in 200 million people, more or less, like Brazil. Country, Yes, and so there's a large market for our products. There are many aspects we can associate, establish partnerships. You can, for example, in the textiles, you can contribute. Pharmaceuticals also, in many fields we can cooperate. Agriculture, we can cooperate with know-how, machinery, with logistics. And we have the raw materials, you have the natural resources. So even if we don't, it's not exports only simple exports, but we can cooperate in many areas. And also I see there is an interesting of Pakistanis to invest in Portugal, many normally in tourism. Well, now we have also a touristic country, well, a lot of tourism, and now also the prices, the real estate is low. It's because
in your country you're talking?
Yes, in Portugal. So many Pakistanis want to invest there, and we have a special kind of visa that we can consider people going there to invest, to establish, in order for them to be able to establish them afterwards completely, because they can even get a nationality.
Oh, it's a good incentive for them, huh?
Yeah, yes.
When your government announced this incentive for the foreign tourist or foreign investor?
And there has been for several times, of course. There was an experimental time, and after, well, we suspended for a while. Now we resume it. So we'll try, because several countries they have this kind of this system to attract investments, but of course it's always in this experimental basis, because we have to see how it works, the kind of people who comes, the kind of investments.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we are satisfied now, and also definitely will be satisfied with the Pakistani investors.
Okay. Sir, have you seen that our government have taken tangible measures to restore the confidence of foreign investor? But how do you see the climate of investment in Pakistan? As you mentioned, that Pakistan is a big market and have a lot of potential in many areas to attract the foreign investment. Can you briefly tell us that your investor, due to your efforts, they are coming here in Pakistan and meeting business community and government to invest here?
Yes, some came, and some businessmen start coming. And of course, I think the first step is for them to get to know Pakistan, to establish some confidence here. Of course, I would attract many investors from Portugal to here, because we have a lot of sectors where we had some starting with some consultations about the ports shipping, the coastline, the Pakistani coastline. We are building a large port, or increasing a large port in Gwadar and the Balochistan, and also we have the port of Karachi. Portugal also has large port, Atlantic port, so there are already some official contacts in that area. It's an area where we can invest because we have the know-how. We can also invest in renewable energies, some areas where advanced, even in marble, at least establish some partnerships to extract marble. But some.
It's a big industry, you know.
Yes, in the marble, yes, and you need more know-how, more machinery in the competitive price, and we have this. We have this kind of machinery because we also produce marble of high quality, and so there is many areas. Tourism, you have a very beautiful country.
Tourism is also very leading industry in the world.
Yes, and you have many kinds of tour. You can have all kinds of tourists. You have someone who comes for the landscapes, comes for hiking or for going to the mountains. On the house, someone comes for heating, to heat, not to explore.
We are blessed with weather, you know.
Yes, for culture, to see the monuments. We have very old civilizations here in your territory. So established here, so there is a lot of things, and this is a large territory, so I foresee we have a bright future for the tourism.
And sir, how do you see the people-to-people contact between the two countries? As we have seen that number of people are coming from your country, and many delegation are visiting from Pakistan to your country as well, business community and some parliamentarian and some other people. Yes. So how do you think that people-to-people contact will be more effective in coming years to boost the relation between the two countries?
Yes. No, I think, of course, tourism is also a way. Tourism both ways, of course. But these business delegations are very important to get to know, establish personal contacts. And I see these kind of contacts are easy between the people, our businessmen. They're easy to establish. People go along very well, very easily and very quickly. And so I see we just have to improve, to increase this kind of exchanges between but we had, during the year we had several business delegations. We had our trade and investment agency in January this year. they organized a business seminar on Pakistan. They invited some Pakistani businessmen, but also, of course, Portuguese businessmen to establish some talks. And after that, some Portuguese started coming to Pakistan. Now they have friends here.
After a long time.
Yes, yes. And they have very good friends here in the business community. Not only business context, business ties, but also friendship ties. It's very important.
And how do you see this Pakistan-Portugal Business Council? With your diplomatic efforts, its council was established. And what you see the role of this council actually to enhance the coordination between the two countries in private sector especially?
Okay. No, that is very important, and I think they have someone there now permanently in Portugal. They have an office there, and I think they should go on because, of course, this is we are starting, so many things can come from there, and so their role will be very important in this. They have been to Portugal. They have sent several delegations to Portugal. And after now, as I said, they opened this office. They can, as a kind of pivot, they can coordinate many things, and not only here, also here, increasing the name of Portugal, the potential of our economy, and also there doing the opposite, so increasing the image of Pakistan. For that, the press is very, very important. They should go to the press there also. And I advise them several times to do that, to go to the television, to the media, in order to transmit the opportunities, but also the brand, the image of Pakistan, the spirit.
It is more important, actually.
Yes.
To project the real image of
Pakistan, yes.
Sir, as you mentioned in your initial remarks regarding ports, and your country have many expertise in this, as you witnessed the 1 month before, a very landmark inauguration was done by the Prime Minister, Gwadar Port.
Yes.
And formal business activities have been started from the Gwadar Port. And it's an international port.
Yes.
How your country can benefit from this port or other country of this region? And specifically, how do you see this port playing a key role for trade enhancement and trade volume?
No, yes, it's very important. That was talked there in Portugal by your Minister of Ports and Shipping in March. Yes. And after, there's exchange you had of portfolio, but the new minister, I hope he can visit now for Ports and Shipping, can visit, your new minister.
Mr. Bezenjo is a new minister.
Yes, I hope that he can visit. He'll be invited, definitely, because also we organize, the first budgets that we organize now several times, some international events on the sea, these sea issues, fisheries, but also of ports and shipping and all. And of course, I think it's very important that Pakistan is there discussing not only with us but internationally, because to show up as a sea country, a sea nation,
yes,
that has something to give.
Some commonalities we have.
Yes, and also but I think Gwadar, of course, in all the ports you have good ports. But the Gwadar is linking China to the Arabian Sea is very important, because a new route can be a new trade route, and we have some historically, but Portugal historically, when I've been here in this region, also defended only the sea route, not this kind of routes. And this is a story, if I may, just a historical detail, that I was reading the other day, that about the Mughals, the empires are very important for Pakistan and from India. For Mughals empire in the 16th century, they didn't have so much relations with China, so it was the trade routes ended in the Xinjiang. So, but the Emperor Akbar sent a Portuguese Jesuit priest, a monk. Okay. Established the first travel from Lahore first, but I think he came from Agra, Lahore, Peshawar. He went for Kabul.
It's a very historical background.
Yes, and his mission was to reach Beijing.
Okay.
It was sponsored by Emperor Akbar. He had lived in Lahore after he returned to India, and after he came back and started his trip, and he was about to reach Beijing, but he died before. But the Jesuit from Beijing came to meet him. He passed his testimony. So it was a predecessor of this kind of links between this kind of routes, trade routes in the beginning of the 17th century. So Akbar had already this vision of establish this kind of route.
Many centuries before.
Before, yes. Because of course there is to open a way to China, to the China market, and China also to the Pakistani market, to the Arabian Sea. So is this,
and both countries are very, have a big market.
Of course, yes. So to establish kind of route. So it's historical detail that I was reading the other day, but it's interesting because of course the Mughal Empire was very important in the history of Pakistan. So.
And sir, how do you see the Pak-China economic corridor? As we are mentioning Gwadar Port, so Gwadar is one of the part of CPEC, and yes. You have seen as a very historic investment done by the Chinese government, $46 billion in Pakistan. Yes. So it's called a game changer in the region. So how do you see, as a member of European Union, see this project playing a role for economic and trade development here?
Yes, I think it's very important. Of course, it should be. We see it as of course, it's a Pakistani project. Of course, it's Chinese Pakistani, but it goes in through Pakistan territory, and so it's a Pakistani project. But to see it also an international, could be an international participation from not only from China, but all the countries in the region, and also from Western countries like the European Union. So it's an opportunity for us, and we hope we can bring our contribution to this project, and all of us. But I think mainly it's not only to be only beneficial to China or to Pakistan, to the investments, but I think should be very important for the region, because all the region, not only Pakistan, not only
but the
India,
whole region,
yes, and also Central Asia. So should be open to Iran.
A new corridor.
Yes, a new corridor.
And poverty alleviation, job opportunities.
Of course, yes.
And trade, economic ties.
Yes.
So you think that is a very important project?
Yes, it is. It is when it starts now working. So through this inauguration of Gwadar, but of course it will be very important because we're just watching the starting part. But of course, in 10 years. Yes. Some probably, I don't know, ourselves probably still in 10 years we'll still be here, but our children will see something completely different, because it will be a lot of development.
The future generation will
benefit. Future will see something that.
But roadmap is very important.
It's very important, yes.
Okay. Yes. So here we take a short commercial break.
Yes,
and we will continue our discussion after a short.
Of course, yes.
Thank you. Welcome back, viewers. Excellency, it's a great honor for your country that the new Secretary General United Nations, the world leading organization, belongs to your country. Excellency Antonio is the new Secretary General of the United Nations. Perhaps after a few weeks, he will take a charge formally as Secretary General. So he was Prime Minister of your country.
Yes.
And Pakistan and other countries have many expectations from new Secretary General regarding the stability and peace in the region.
Okay.
So how you can define about this your Portuguese citizen, that he served on many key positions before this in United Nations, but now it's a very prestigious position that now he's elected a new Secretary General of United Nations. How you can elaborate about his personality, his achievement, and his role as Secretary General?
Yes, thank you very much for referring. Yes, Mr. Antonio Guterres, he has a political career in Portugal since his youth. He's very committed to fighting the dictatorship first, and also he studied engineering, but also as a Christian, he committed also himself social works since during the university, and so as a Christian militant. And after he opted to accede to the Socialist Party, and he has very important positions and reached, I think he has several times in the government, and so he has an intellectual, not only technical, because he also lectured in the university, the engineering university, but also after he became prime minister at the end of the century, of the last century, and he had the opportunity also to negotiate the euro, the new currency, European currency. Okay. So he was, we can say, well, he was a co-founder of euro. Actually, Portugal was there since the beginning. And after finishing his job, so then I had the opportunity, when I was in Germany, he came to negotiate during these euro negotiations. He came to have dinner at the residence, and I was then still, I think, a secretary. I was still secretary of embassy, but I was invited to, and so then after he became, well, he went to the United Nations and the High Commissioner for the Refugees during a very.
I think more than 10 years.
Yes. And he had the opportunity to proceed with his ideals, social ideals, his openness to the world, to the new. That is very important to deal, because, of course, technically it's difficult. It requires a lot, and also a lot of sensibility for the human problems to be High Commissioner for Refugees, but also an openness to new understanding of other cultures and other religions, what the important the religions have in one society, and that can mark a different mentality that should be understood. It should be a way of dialogue, not an obstacle, no hurdle between the two peoples and society, and two different societies. I think he did very good work in that, because he conquered himself some respect of the others, of the countries he dealt with, but also the respect of the people he tried to help. Well, actually, the second time I met him, it was in Canada, in Ottawa. He was invited by the Prince. He was there to deal, of course, with the federal government in Canada, because Canada helps a lot the refugee cause, so with money, actually, not only with the, but so he dealt. And after the Prince Aga Khan was there, invited to talk about to give a conference in the Ismaili representation there.
Yes.
So I had the opportunity to meet both Prince Aga Khan and Antonio Guterres. They were together and spoke about the refugee cause. So this is my experience with him, but of course.
And the migrant issue is a very sensitive issue in these days, a very big issue in the world.
Yes.
So keeping in view this prevailing issue, do you think that he will be able to tackle this issue amicably? Because many countries are affected by the migrants.
Of course, yes.
Illegal migrants. And it's a concern among the European Union as well and some other Muslim countries.
Of course, no. I think we have no alternative to have to tackle this issue, because it has very strong, very important repercussions in the human repercussions, economic, and of course, there are two aspects, because some people are running away from wars and from persecution. Some people are looking for new opportunities, economic opportunities, and we have to agree that some countries are not economically strong enough to support so many people suddenly. But I think we should. It's a work for the whole humankind, not only for one or two countries. It will be possible for them to bear the effort by themselves. So I think we should work together, of course, under the auspices of the United Nations, and also together with other organizations like, of course, European Union, but you have OIC,
yes,
of course. So should all work together in that.
To address this issue.
And the objective is not only our aims should be first to safeguard the human rights, the rights of the people, the rights of the persons possibly affected, and also that can have some stability in life, economic, social stability, have some well-being. This is other object so both goes together, no?
Right.
Just not only, of course, it's part of the economic right, but they are entitled to it also.
So, sir, we are talking about the new Secretary General, and as you know, that Kashmir issue is a bone of contention between India and Pakistan. and United Nations resolution on Kashmir are still pending, despite the fact that international community is pressurizing India to act upon those resolutions, but still not. So how do you see that the new Secretary General will be able to resolve this outstanding issue between India and Pakistan? I mean, Kashmir dispute.
I hope so. No, I think of course he's open for that. I think even before being elected as a Secretary General, he kept, at least with Pakistan, I know he kept some contacts, official contacts or informal contact, but well, he met with some responsibles from Pakistan before being elected. I'm sure he will have do the same, should have done the same with India. And it all because it's a problem also for all humankind, because any problem that has some consequences for human lives or instability to war is, of course, is a problem for all of us. And I'm sure, I hope that we can find a
solution.
Yes, for the problem, but I think it's a work for all of us.
Because the United Nations, all the countries in the world are a member of United Nations.
Yes. I think
so they have obligation to
to help to solve these causes, and then in order to understand all the sides and then reach a common understanding.
And sir, your country is a very effective member of European Union, and you have seen that few years back European Union had given GSP plus to Pakistan. Due to that status, economic and trade volume we have seen enhanced. But how do you see the relation between European Union and Pakistan, and how your country can actually help Pakistan for having a very durable and very constructive coordination and relation between European Union and Pakistan?
Yes, well, European Union definitely. I think they are open to Pakistan, and also Pakistan the other way around. Pakistan, there was very recently in Islamabad these consultations, a joint commission, from European Union and Pakistan. Of course, this cooperation because the European Union is an entity by itself, but of course it has several members, all the members. Yes. So Pakistan also established bilateral relations with each of these members. Of course, consolidates his relation with the European Union in the other way around, with the Commission or so of course I think what we can do with Pakistan, and besides these commercial ties, developed commercial ties, and also institutional open dialogue and cooperation in many areas, like between parliaments. That's very important to discuss, because the
parliamentary
yes using
exchange are very important.
Yes, we have in Portugal, in our case we have this friendship group, Pakistan Portuguese Parliamentarian Friendship Group. We can use it as a tool also, because from our side we are very interested to use it in order to help Pakistan.
And it can be very effective.
So it can be very effective, and I think that they are also from the Pakistan side. Of course, there is interest when we are a friendship group. The Pakistan side of the friendship group, we can talk about cooperate in many areas, in social areas, also the culture, academic areas, and establish more understanding between ourselves. So that will help all the rest. The political understanding will come after, but if we are open to our cultures, to discuss several aspects, women empowerment, child rights, or labor rights, several things that yes, and I don't think this seeing us or seeing you as an example. We learn with each other.
Sir, being a very leading country of South Asia, how do you see that Pakistan is playing very effective role for stability and peace in the regions? But we have extremist and terrorist threats, and it has become a global issue, terrorism.
Yes,
but your country is satisfied with the role of Pakistan as a frontline state to combat the menace of terrorism and extremism from this region?
Well, Pakistan also has a strong connection with the Western countries, and since the Cold War, there was a lot aligned with the West, and of course Pakistan has also a very important, not only important political, but also very important geographical location, because it touches is close to the Gulf, so the sea, Arabian Sea to the, and also to China reaches out also to almost to Central Asia. So the location by itself
Geopolitical location
gives a lot of responsibility to and a lot of worries to Pakistan, because they have to deal with a lot of problems. And of course, they are essentially here in the region. They are a very important country, and they are dealing with different and establishing a balance between sometimes difficult relations, different partnerships with opposite. They have to deal with some partners that between them they are not partners. So they have to establish a balance in order to increase the global cooperation, the regional cooperation. And of course, and I think to that, the more we talk politically. Also, in case of Portugal, also we had our political consultations this year, and our foreign ministers, they met also this year. So I think the more we talk, the more we understand each other, and the more we'll see ways of proceed with this.
To address the real issues.
Yes.
So how do you see that peace and stability in Afghanistan is a dream of the whole international community?
Of course, yeah.
But these non-state actors and the behavior of this present Afghan government is creating main obstacle in the way of reconciliation. But how do you think that the peace and stability will be achieved in Afghanistan by the reconciliation efforts? How do you think?
I think is the only way these negotiations towards peace between the government and the Taliban, and of course is the only way to peace. We should support it, and so that there is of course we are Portugal is a friend. Well, in a way we are a friend of Pakistan. We have good relations. Well, diplomatic relations with Afghanistan also, and with Kabul, and of course they recognize that politically we had a small effort and for the security area. But also politically, we had that was said to me for several Afghanistan ambassadors, and they recognize our role always. But with the aim of peace and stability and cooperation, international cooperation, of course, that is very important. And I think, of course, Afghanistan peace in Afghanistan is very important for all the region and for the world as well. No? Yeah. Because.
So, sir, as I know, as a head of mission, you are promoting cultural diplomacy between Pakistan and Portugal, and we have seen some artists you invited in Islamabad to perform, and their performances are very appreciated by many peoples. So how we can enhance the relation in culture, arts, and music and other related subjects?
We should. Well, we have now we are renewing our cultural agreement. Cultural agreement dates from from last century, so we are renewing it in order not only in the cultural aspects but comprehending also media, all many areas, youth, sports. Normally this what we call the cultural agreements comprehend many areas, different areas, and establishes a platform for cooperation between the two societies. And of course we should know better each other, but I see probably our culture is not so well known here, although we have a tradition in this region for many centuries. So part of our culture, Portuguese culture, comes from the subcontinent, because of course we received a lot from. We established ourselves here since the 16th century in this area. Well, the area more in India, of course, in the Gulf, Persian Gulf, and so we got a lot of influence from this area culturally, and that we can see, for example, your ceramics from Multan. You can find also in Portugal, the small region. So they were brought from Pakistan, from Multan to Portugal, to that region of Nazareth, but near the coast. You'll find precisely the same patterns, and of course we got influence from you, and so we should also show that the culture not in which we are the aspect we are different, but what we have together. For example, you mentioned these singers that came last year, and I was watching pictures, the good relation they had with the Pakistani singers and musicians. They had a very good relation. They sang together. They rehearse together. They change a lot of ideas, of musical ideas as well.
It is a people-to-people contact.
Yes, very important. I
Through
think it's
music.
yes, through music. But we can talk about dance. I like very much Pakistani dances, all the different. So we have many things that we can promote and establish to meet people. Yes, for us to meet us.
Yes, yes. And sir, lastly, as it's also great honor for your country that Portugal is a Euro football champion
Yes,
in the world. So it's again very important thing for your peoples. How do you think that Pakistan and Portugal can do cooperation in field of sports?
Yeah, well, we can. I think there's something that we can cooperate, because now the cricket is starting in Portugal. We don't have tradition in cricket, but cricket is very important to attract young people to insert them in the society and give them the objective. So it's starting in Portugal. You like also football. Our main sport is football. Of course, we have all good football schools for you. But I know Pakistan has very talented young players, but they need some training, some coaching, and we have that. We can provide that. Like, for example, if there's inviting some young, because these kind of schools, they can attend normal school, and they have at the same time some football training with high level training. And so, for example, if one very talented Pakistan goes study there in British school, he doesn't need to speak Portuguese, but of course, and at the same time is attending, because some of the schools, they have an agreement with the football schools. So in the same premises, the coaches come and train them, the children. So
it's a good opportunity.
Yes, because I think it was how Cristiano Ronaldo started, one of these schools when he was very young. In the 18th, he was already the captain of our national team. So I see many Cristiano Ronaldos, many other great players, world players, coming out from Pakistan, and I see that very easily.
And sir, while summing up this interview, because our time is completed, so any message that you would like to give to people of Pakistan from people of Portugal?
Yes, I think what I tell to people of Pakistan, to be proud of themselves. They have a great nation, a great people, have a lot to give to the world, based in a very important culture. We have very diversified, very linguistic, rich culture. We have many languages, almost like Europe. No, it's many languages existing, spoken here in Pakistan. So Pakistan should be proud of himself and give his contribution. Based in that, give his contribution to the world, because the world needs Pakistan, as I said, also for all the reasons. And also, I hope that we can come near. Portuguese and Pakistanis come close together, and in order to also to give their contribute to the others.
Yes. Excellency, Mr. Costa, head of mission of Portugal here based in Islamabad. Thank you very much for sparing your precious moment for program of diplomatic Enclave.
Thank you very much.
And you highlighted many important aspects of bilateral relation between Pakistan and Portugal and role of your country here. So I'm grateful to you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, viewers. It's the end of program. We will be able to have some other ambassador with you for another fresh question. Thank you very much. Sir, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, viewers. It's the end of program.